Welcome to my crafty channel, Craft with Paula. Today we're going to play with this fun specialty cardstock. Now this was a promotion a month or two back and it was such a stunning little collection of specialty cardstock that had a glossy side and a matte side. So what I'm going to do is I decided to play with all the colours of this pack and create a rainbow layout. Now this is heavily scrap lifted from the Close to My Heart corporate artwork. They had some stunning different options for creating with this pack, and I absolutely love this panel of rainbow stripes. So what I have here is 1/2 inch strips of all the different colors that came in the kit, graduating through a whole rainbow of colors. Now I'm just using a sheet of white daisy cardstock that is 11.5 inches by 7 inches, and I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive underneath and adhering all these little 1/2 inch strips. Now I'm just going to cut off the first set of colors just to show you how I tidied it all up, and then off camera I will finish laying all the stripes over the top so you can see the full effect. I've also made a card size, and that is 3 inches by 5.25 inches, and that's going to look really nice on a card base. So playing with this color, I'm now going to bring in a little bit of stamping. Now this again has been scrap lifted from a very clever maker who is put together with the perfectly imperfect patterns of stamps, some gorgeous little background stamping. Now her name is Erin Jacobson. She has a fabulous channel of so many different ideas, and she has also done a similar layout using this idea from corporate. So what I'm doing now is taking the splotch stamp and a couple of the little sprinkling stamps and using a collection of ink colors. The ink colors that I am using is Sangria, Raspberry, Nectarine, Canary, Avocado, Lagoon, and Glacier. Now this perfectly imperfect pattern set is D2051, and I'm telling you this detail because it is such a fabulous stamp set. It's in the Close to My Heart core catalogue and available until August. So if you haven't yet got your hands on it, I do totally recommend it. It's one of my favourite stamps. I always pull it out. So as you can see at the end, I decided I would go right to the edge of this paper. So I've brought in a little bit of colour at the bottom, and I'm going to go back and put in a little bit of colour at the top. The splash of ink colour is such a neat effect. I'm loving it, and I'm really enjoying using the stamp set to create the look so quickly and easily. From this point, I've also gone ahead and done it on the card base as well, just to keep a consistent look. So you can see the effect happening in both. Now I'm pulling out a stamp set that's exclusive to makers. It's got a really fun little title, and I thought it was going to go really nicely for my ladies who are at crop retreat. It says the craft room is calling and I must go. Now isn't that one of the truest sentiments out there? So that's what I'm going to use as part of my title. I'm also assuming that there's going to be a photo taken of the group of us together. Typically it's in landscape, so I'm putting this layout together with that in mind. For the card, I'm just using the space of the photo to put in a little sentiment, which I do actually later change to a different sentiment because I felt that one was a bit too small. Now to decorate the strip down the edge between the stamping and the cardstock, I decided to pull out an old thin cut set, which is actually still available on our website. It's called Crafting Shapes, and they are just adorable. You cut out little bits and pieces of them and layer them together, which I've gone ahead and done, and then I have just scattered them over. To finish off, I actually looked again at what Erin suggested, which was to pull out all of our old sequins. Using our really helpful pickup tool, I can pull out the colours that are most relevant for the different rainbow shades all the way down that strip, just to add a touch of bling, which is always fun to have on your page. So all the way through, I dot a little bit of glue, grab a sequence of the colour in that patch, and then just embellish all the way. I'm really loving the effect and how this came together. Now, if you're not so keen on the brightness of this solid cardstock, a way to soften it is to add vellum. And you'll see when I show my final card image, that's exactly what I did. I also tucked a bit of vellum behind the photo mat just to soften that the break between the photo itself and its background, because this is a pretty loud background, but it is a lot of fun as well. Now I cut out the word retreat using that same cardstock. It cuts out beautifully, and I used our die cut set called Slim Alphabet, which is in the core catalogue at the moment as well. Another great set given that it is nice and thin. So here's my finished pieces. You'll see that I have added in that vellum. I've added in a new sentiment from our Stamp of the Month this month, and I'm really loving the effect that this cardstock has given to our creations. Thanks for watching.